Hi. Hi. Austin and Vincent, spurring innovation within an established organization is instinctively complex than startup because startups are innovative, disruptive, and agile in many ways. However, for mature organizations like CLP, they are structured in a way that may limit or slow down the process of adopting or integrating a new business model or new technology. So in this part, I would like to hope that ask you both a question. How do you find that this is a good match between entrepreneur and corporate executive and the senior management? How they, what is their view in adopting new technologies or business models?
I want to start by saying, notice that the startup is wearing a tie. The corporate is not wearing a tie. So maybe we've infused ourselves so much, I'm not sure. But
I thought you'd be wearing one, that's why.
I'm an investor. I have to.
I'm happy to take it off.
So let me start. I think there's a couple of things that are really important. First of all, corporates have to be with startups for the right reason. So there has to be a purpose in why you want to partner with somebody who brings exciting, innovative, and disruptive technology. If you're doing it because you want to sponsor, if you're doing it because you want media visibility, if you're not doing it for an authentic purpose, you're actually not going to be helping the startup, and you're not going to help yourself. So from our perspective, we look specifically at companies like Vincent's with En-trak, who can disruptively move at a pace that's fundamentally faster than any large corporate. So corporate organizations are designed to do robust, resilient, repeatable, sustainable activity with the lowest possible risk, at the highest possible quality, at the lowest possible cost. Innovation has to operate at a fundamentally different metabolic rate and at a slightly higher rate of ambiguity. And so you need to figure out how you're going to do that with a company that can solve problems, as Joe talked about, that are going to be meaningful to the way that you serve your customer, and if you're public, how you serve your shareholder.
How about your view, Vincent?
First of all, after we won the last year competition, and we were approached by CLP, to us, in our eyes, is a giant.
I did approach them.
We were concerned.
Them.
We were scared. We were nervous. We were excited, of course, but we didn't know what to expect. For a big corporation to be interested in us, okay, we were thinking of all the pros and cons. And after that, we took a very realistic view internally to ask ourselves, why do we want to work with a giant like CLP and Alibaba for that matter? And we had a good thought about it. And we realized that if we have them as our partner, it certainly can help to elevate our brand, our status, and open up a lot of doors. So this is the most obvious benefit that one could get as a startup. So on that, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that to happen. But of course, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy to work with two companies that are so large and have their own corporate structures. So for any aspiring startups that is going to be here today and who will probably have the same opportunity to do that, you have to have very realistic expectation, okay? That there will be a different tempo, so you got to do adjustment internally and get used to the pace and look at it as a way to improve your own corporate governance internally. And so that's what I get out of this whole 6 months since they joined us.
Austin, I know that CLP invested into En-trak. And what do you think, what is the benefit of such investment, and what is the real benefit behind such investment and collaboration?
Well, first of all, energy, what's exciting, why energy? First of all, energy and data are connecting. So electrons and data are the future. So the ability to provide insights and meaningful information from the way that energy moves around today, just the way that content has moved around on your laptop or your tablet or your iPhone or your Samsung Note, whatever it is, electrons and data are connecting. That data is incredibly valuable for end customers. And so energy companies produce, distribute, and deliver energy. They don't know how to develop software. So people that can come up with the ability to solve those kinds of problems that add real value, like En-trak, which is give companies the ability to have greater control, to give democratic control over the way energy consumption takes place, or simply visualization of utilization patterns that allow for better efficiency in companies. That's very meaningful, and we'll never be able to do something like that inside our company. So partnering with companies like En-trak help us jumpstart into the digital economy to connect energy and data.
Okay, actually, except for funding, what is other support provided by CLP to En-trak or other startups? Is there any other startup CLP are working with?
Well, we're working with any number of startups, but I mean, as we think about what Vincent would want, what does he need? He doesn't just need money. He can get money from a lot of people because they think his ideas and his company are great and the talent of the management team. The question is, how do you get access to customers? How do you have a trusted partner that can open doors? How do you find people inside a larger company that can actually give value in thinking about everything from operational execution to marketing execution? I would also say that the downside of large corporates and working with nimble startups is that they're large and that they have structures that they expect external companies to fit into. And so the better corporates today are fitting in with the startup as opposed to simply saying, you have to fit into us.
Okay. I have a question for Vincent. I know that En-trak is a very successful startup in Hong Kong. However, CLP is a giant organization. Do you find any challenges when working with CLP, particularly in the beginning of the cooperation?
For sure. For those who will be joining my kind of a journey, do be realistic. You know, they are a big corporation. They have a lot of things to worry. You are just one of the things. So you can't just sit there and expect miracle to happen. So when we met and when we get together, it's just like any relationship. There will be things that you need to get used to each other, like a couple. So you start to understand what each other is looking for and how we behave. And after that, it's very easy to feel frustrated because why are they not doing this for me? Why are they not giving me customers and all those? Remember, they are not here as like, you know, open door. You got to do your own parts by going and asking for help specifically. And they are not Father Christmas, you know, they're not Santa Claus. They are not here to give you everything you ask for. So you got to be realistic about what exactly, what kind of helps you are looking for. And if you're specific and if you're reasonable, I think they are more than willing to give you the support. Now, beside all that, the fact that we get associated with a brand like this is already something that is intangible. You know, money cannot buy this kind of branding, and the amount of marketing and PR that we get, including today, you know, having the chance to sit here, this is all part of this whole deal. So I'm grateful for all this thing to happen. But you got to be realistic. You got to be realistic. As a startup, you know, there are certain things you can ask for. There are certain things that you got to pace yourself.
Okay, thank you, Vincent. What has surprised you the most in your experience when partnering with large organizations such as CLP or other developers? As far as I know, you also work with many large organizations on your business model.
Yes, we work a lot with building owners and large facilities. You know, we get used somehow to how big corporates think and behave and make decisions. But nothing will prepare you for the actual relationship with CLP or with Alibaba. Again, like I said, they have their own process. They have their own protocol. So you just got to get used to the way some things might not be as quick as we like. In our own company, you know, we can make a decision within half a day. You know, we spend 2 hours debating on the topic and then we can make decisions. But for them, you know, you probably got to write a piece of paper and you got to go through a few rounds of internal deliberation. So once you get used to this thing and you understand and you accept, then, you know, things becomes much easier and you know how to pace your whole momentum. So overall, it has been very positive. But I still think, you know, my advice is that you still got to adjust your own mentality and to make it work.
Can I just add one point on that? I think what works well for the startups that are successful in partnering with large incumbent organizations is that they actually understand a problem that the company has with its customer or the competitive marketplace in which they compete. And so my advice to startups, if you want to be partnered with a corporate, is know their business. And when we talked to En-trak, they knew the business that we're in. They understand that we're not just providing electricity, that we're serving the community and connecting smart cities. And so make sure that you actually know what problem you're solving and that you understand the business that may invest in you and may help you have access to customers.
Okay, Austin, I have a question for you. Because I only noticed only few giant organizations like CLP are partnering with some startup. Do you think that in the future, large organization, the partnership between large organization and startup become a norm or become a normal practice in the market?
I think top right quadrant market leaders are going to get good at it very quickly. Everybody else is going to struggle. If you want to compete and survive today, whether you're a 100-year-old brand or you're a 25-year-old brand, you can't just expect entrepreneurial capability, which is innovation inside your company. You have to connect with all those things that are happening in the digital economy today, because the rate of innovation that's been enabled by high-speed broadband and super connectivity today and ubiquitous access is unchangeable, and you can't do that by yourself.
Austin, because you should have already in the field or working with a lot of startups. Actually, what is your selection criteria and what kind of entrepreneur you love to working with?
Yeah, so two parts. One, when we think about strategically investing in companies, we think about we're probably going to buy that product even if we don't invest in that company. We think it's so awesome that we're going to have it. We also think that other utilities like us around the world are going to think similarly, that it's top right quadrant, excellent technology. We think then that they, with us together, can enhance their product. We think that they're interested in our geographies and they want to grow there, and that we can help them do that. And we think a long-term partnership is valuable because of the talent of the management team and their ability to execute and their ability to think about a strategic roadmap for their product and how they see themselves in their own competitive landscape. So if it can get through those hurdles, then we sit down and decide whether we can actually become a couple.
Okay, Vincent. Actually, can you share with us what is your best memory or the worst memory in the process of pitching
Please don't share
or
your
working
worst memory.
with large
His worst memory is calling me
Can
at
you
8
share
o'clock
tips
at night.
with our startups today?
It is after the all the excitement and the happiness of winning this whole thing, that's where your nightmare begins. Okay, so when there's this thing called due diligence. Okay, and despite all is written on Google as to how you should do it, nothing can prepare you for the real hustle and pain. Okay, it is a legal process, but you have to strip open everything and answer tons and tons of questions, and it consumed a lot of time. Honestly, it took us a couple of months and quite some legal fee in order to sort this thing out. So be prepared. Be prepared. Do not expect this to be a walk in the garden where you can get this done in 2 weeks, because despite one person saying yes, there is another department that will come in and say, no, hang on, I need more information on this. And you feel frustrated. And there will be many times during that process where we said, that's it, enough. I'm not doing anymore, I'm not answering any more questions, take it or leave it. But then again, you think back, this is how the process is like. And because it's our first time doing it, we got to adjust our mentality. Okay, go through it. I'm sure the second time could be better, okay? But I'm still sure it is still a pain to do it. That is the worst thing that can happen. But the good thing, now there are a lot of good things, of course. There are a lot of good things. I can't name every single one. But again, like I said, the fact that you are associated with a big corporates like this, it does add a lot of weight into our solution. I can't imagine the number of customers that we have gotten since the day we formed this partnership. And when we go into any large corporates like, for example, Ocean Park, which we are now talking, it's so much easier to get to talk to the right people. so that there's a chance of us actually closing the deal. And this would have taken us a lot of time if we were to do it ourselves. And that's the best thing that can happen, the most positive things that had happened to us.
Okay. Austin, CLP is already a very, very big and mature organization. Do you think that by partnering with startup, is it really help on the real business development, or can it really create real results?
Well, it has to, frankly. There's two things. One is a company like Vincent's can compete with the energy sector without being involved with us. So somebody in Newcastle, Australia, someone in Silicon Valley, someone in Manchester, England, can open up a company that can disrupt any energy company in the world today. They don't need us. So energy companies that go, oh, it's not happening, well, they're going to get annihilated and they won't even know that it happened. So first of all, we must partner to survive and continue to add value to our customers. I think the other part of it is energy companies have what we consider to be deep domain knowledge. So the engineering excellence that an electrical and a mechanical engineering in the future, leaders of energy companies will actually have strong data science capability, software development skill, coupled with that energy ability. And so today, one of the key benefits for us is having Vincent's company partner with our electrical and mechanical engineering excellence to create a new capability for CLP in the future.
Okay. I think we come to the last question to both of you. Today, we have so many startups in this event. Can you share some top tips by partnership with large organization and startup? Can you share some of your such experience?
I don't think I'm qualified to give any tips. I've only been through it once myself. It's not like I've been through this for my whole life, and it wasn't something that I have planned well in advance to do this thing. So, but when it happens, there will be so much conflicting thoughts in your mind. For those people who don't know, CLP sells electricity. I'm telling people to use less through data. So there is an inherent conflict. So when you walk near them, you feel nervous. Why? I'm actually asking people to use less, in a sense, So I think in terms of cooperating with them, you got to be open. Like I said, you got to adapt to their way of thinking. But at the same time, be willing to hear what these large corporations are thinking, what are their pain points, and you can adjust your strategy along the way. So this is the best advice I can give, because I've seen friends of mine who has worked with similar large corporation, and they have the unrealistic thinking that they want the big corporation to change, to adapt to the startup, which is impossible. Okay, and as a result, that working relationship becomes, from neutral to negative, and now you got to worry about business, and you got to start worrying about your investors and whatnot. So it's important to have a very open and willing to learn and listen kind of attitude in order to make this even work in the first place. That's the only thing I can think from my own perspective.
Yeah. How about Austin?
Very briefly, I would say a couple of things. Make sure that in working with that quote-unquote strategic investor as a company, that they really are going to help you grow, that they are aligned with your vision for where you want to take your company, and they're complementary. You're not becoming a subordinated part of that company. They're there to help you grow. And so it's beyond money. You have to look at all the capabilities that a large corporate can bring to you so that you can take your vision and your company where you want it to be. That's the strategic question that you have to answer before you talk to someone like me about a strategic investment from a large corporate.
Okay, thank you. We come to the end of our session. We would like to thank again to our guest speaker and to our audience for your participation. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your insightful sharing. Thank you. Please.